actually feel like for the most part, maybe I'm off base, but it feels like a lot of these games are fairly straightforward. Now, the fact that I'm saying that means there's gonna be something that's not straightforward here. So we're gonna start with the AFC. We have the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is coming back from injury. I think he's gonna come back with the vengeance. I think the Baltimore Ravens get a win here. We do have a problem at the moment, and it's that just off the jump, this is how I feel like this is gonna pan out. I think the Broncos will beat the Texans. I think the Chargers will beat the Titans. I'm confident the Colts will beat the Steelers. I think the Jaguars will beat the Raiders, and I think the Chiefs will beat the Bills. Now, of these games, the ones that I'm least confident in is this one, the Raiders-Jags game. And this one, like right now, the Chiefs just seem to be the best team in the NFL, just based on how they're playing. These teams are both coming off a bye. This Raiders offense is, it's absolutely terrible when, like, I understand this Jaguars team has issues, but I just cannot in good consciousness, even though the Raiders defense has been solid. Geno Smith turns the ball over every other drive, and it's just unsustainable. I don't think they're going to win that, even though they did just get Tyler Lockett added to the roster, but I don't think he moves the needle at all. The Steelers, I think this Colts team is just way too good for the Steelers team to overcome. They're firing on all cylinders right now. I think the sort of performance we got last week from the Steelers is about as good as we can expect them to play. And I just don't think that's a good enough performance to beat this Colts team. This Chargers team has looked really bad at some points in the season. But then at other times they've looked really good, so it's hard to tell, and this Titans team is just a disaster. This Broncos team, they win or lose. Like, a lot of their games are one-score games, like I've said in the past. And this Texans team can come out and get hot and cause some issues. But I do imagine right here all these teams are the favorites. But I'm going to force myself to pick one upset here. And I might go. If I have to pick one upset, I'm going to pick the Raiders to win that. No, I'm going to pick the Titans. Just because I'm so sure that Geno Smith is not going to win this game, I have to go Titans. I'm not confident really in any, I'm really not confident in that. I do think the Chargers will win that game, but I just know statistically it is so unlikely for every away team to win in the AFC. Like, away teams going 6 for 6 in AFC games would be like, it's not gonna happen. One of these home teams at least will win. Maybe the Dolphins are actually the most likely. I just feel like Lamar coming back, he's gonna be fired up, but I'm gonna go Titans here, but I don't feel good about it. I think, yeah. Anyways, we'll go to our Interconference game. Bears versus Bengals. Falcons versus Patriots. This game really feels like a 50-50 to me. Because this Bengals team has looked absolutely terrible at times, and they've looked good at times. Same with this Bears team. They looked really bad last week. I'm going to go Patriots here. I think the Patriots Chargers. Okay, this one over the Falcons. This Falcons team, they're so hot and cold. And I have Kirk Cousins back under center. And as much as I love Kirk Cousins, I've said it a million times. I think that him being there, the team will be worse, and they were inconsistent. Even with Penix, this Patriots team is rolling. They're playing like one of the best teams in football. I don't know where they are in the power rankings. I think they'd to at least be top 6 in the power rankings. So I have to pick them. This one genuinely feels like it could go either way. I think the Bears defense will get to Flacco early and often. I think he will be pressured, he will be hit. I'm gonna take Cincinnati. To come down to the NFC, Packers versus Panthers. I'm gonna take the Packers. Vikings, Lions going off the bye. Vikings going off of a bad loss, and JJ McCarthy is coming back in after being out with injury. The vibes around the Vikings right now just feel off, and I think the Lions are gonna come out and just go full out against them. Now the Niners did lose last week, but so did the Giants. Brock Purdy apparently might be playing in this game. He might be back from injury. I actually don't know if that changes too much, because really, like, it's all just coaching. That's why the Niners are so good. And, like, we've seen the backup QBs looking just as good as the starter. Mac Jones has stepped up. In New York is a lot of injuries right now. Scadaboo's out. He was like their best offensive weapon, really. 49ers also a lot of injuries, but I think they're the better coach team, so I'll take the Niners. Rams Saints is going to be a bloodbath. I'm going to take the Rams. Seahawks Commanders. I'm actually confident we can beat this Commanders team. Who they lose to last week? They lost to the Chiefs, and they did not look good. There were some early defensive moments. I know Bobby Wagner had a really big moment, and he'll always show out against Seattle, like former team and all that. But I really think our offense. I don't think our offense is as good as the Chiefs, but I think our offense is good enough to get past this Washington team that has a lot of issues going at the moment. And then I think the Cowboys will get the win in Dallas against these Cardinals. So, now it is time for my 4 extra points, which are: which game will have the highest combined score, which game will have the lowest combined score, which team will have the most passing yards, and which team will have the most rushing yards. So let's do highest combined score first. I think this Chiefs-Bills game is definitely a candidate for highest combined score. This game could be up there around 70 or 80 points total between the two teams. I think highest score is definitely on the table here. This might be the winner for that. Combined score. Yeah, I'm gonna say this Chiefs-Bills game will have the highest combined score. Lowest combined score. The game right above it, the Jaguars versus the Raiders. I think this is gonna be like a 10-3 game or something like that when it's all said and done. So I think right here, because the Raiders do have a good defense, the Jaguars do have a good defense. The Raiders have a terrible offense, the Jaguars have a bad to mediocre offense. to 7, 13 to 3, 13 to 7, something like that. So I think your lowest combined score is this game, Jacksonville versus Las Vegas. And I think your highest combined score is your Chiefs-Bills game. Now, the highest passing yards, I really want to go with the Bills. I think Josh Allen could have like 400 plus passing yards this game, even though I think they'll lose the game. But I don't pick the same team for two things to catching my bets. So even though I think, off the top of my head, I just think Josh Allen will have the most passing yards this week. I'm not gonna pick him. Oh, yeah, the Rams. The Rams, I think actually, yeah, even ignoring the Bills, like not just because I won't pick them, because I already picked them for most points. I actually think that the Rams will have the most passing yards this week. Going in against the Saints, I think this game, like I said, I think this will be a bloodbath in LA's favor. I think, yeah, 350 plus passing yards, something like that. I could definitely see that on the table, especially coming off the bye. So I think the Rams have the most passing yards this week. And the most rushing yards. Rushing. Colts with Jonathan Taylor. I'm a big Jonathan Taylor fan. I've said that before. And it's like back-to-back weeks. I think they've put up 100 plus yards. And yeah, I'm gonna take him right here. Well, the team, but really Jonathan Taylor, but the Colts overall with most rushing yards. So most rushing yards for the Colts. Lowest combined score for Jacksonville. I almost said Oakland, but Vegas. Highest combined score for Kansas City, Buffalo, and most passing yards will be the Rams. Now I got a comment suggesting that I should look at the lines and stuff like that. Now, I never look at betting odds before I make my predictions. To be honest, I try not to like overthink these. I come down, I sit down, and I don't even think about who I'm gonna pick until I sit here and open the window and hit record. But what I'm gonna do is I'll look at some lines now and see how that lines up with sort of what I picked, but these are locked in. I'm not gonna change any of these guesses based on what I read. I just want to see if I'm sort of thinking the same way that the experts, so to speak, are thinking. Okay, now to ignore some of the blank space here on the side, actually see if I can fix that. So I guess that's not super important, but so here are the odds as they sit at the moment. So they have Baltimore as a 7.5 point favorite, total points at 51. I think that's the over-under, the points total of 51. Okay, so my pick is in line there with that. They have Indianapolis as the favorite in this matchup with 50.5. Only a 3-point favorite though. I think they'll win by more than 3 points. I'd go with the over there. This is a really tough call. Depends on how Lamar plays, but I'd probably take the over. Definitely take the over. And no, this isn't. I do not condone sports gambling. By the way, I've never placed a sports bet. I will never place a sports bet. I do not think you should place a sports bet. New England is a 5-point favorite there, so that lines up with what I was saying. Green Bay 13-point favorite against Carolina. I'd probably take the under there. So Chicago is actually the 2.5-point favorite, which I sort of assumed they would be. Cincinnati would win, so that technically was an upset pick. Denver is actually the underdog here. Houston is the favorite. That's interesting. So I picked Denver in this matchup, but Houston's a 1-point favorite. Interesting. The Niners are only a 2.5-point favorite. I'd probably take the over on that. Chargers are an 8.5-point favorite. Yeah, that was my upset pick. I probably should have taken the Texans instead, but I didn't realize the Texans were the favorite. That's crazy. Detroit 9-point favorite. I think they'll win by more than that. Jacksonville's a 3-point favorite over Las Vegas. Rams 13.5-point favorite, but they have 44 points. Kansas City is a 2-point favorite, and that's funny is they do have, this is the highest points total, I think, 52.5. Yeah, it's close, but they do have Kansas City was the total points of this game of 52.5. Seattle's a 3-point favorite. I think I'd take the over. I'll take the over on this as well. I think they'll win by two scores. And then Dallas, oh no, Dallas has the highest point total, 53. Wow, Dallas 2.5-point favorite. So I'm pretty much in line with most picks, I think, except for this Cincinnati pick, which I sort of knew would be, and this one, which I definitely knew would be, and I guess technically here Denver. So thank you guys so very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single week. And until next time, guys.